As a paramedic, my life had always revolved around emergencies, life-saving procedures, and the relentless ticking of the clock. Night shifts were especially grueling, testing the limits of my physical and mental endurance. But there was one night that would forever change the way I viewed the world. It began like any other shift, with a seemingly endless stream of emergencies that stretched into the early hours of the morning. By the time my shift finally ended, I was beyond exhausted, my body aching from the physical demands of the job. All I wanted was to go home, collapse into bed, and forget about the chaos of the night. As I trudged through the dimly lit streets toward my apartment, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The weight of the night's events hung heavy on my shoulders, and I couldn't escape the images of the patients I had encountered. I arrived home, hoping that a good night's sleep would wash away the weariness that clung to me. But as I stepped inside my apartment, a chilling sensation washed over me. The air seemed colder, heavier, and the shadows in the corners of the room appeared darker, more foreboding. I dismissed it as the product of exhaustion, blaming my overactive imagination. But as the days passed, strange occurrences began to unfold. Late at night, I would hear whispers, soft and unintelligible, echoing through the empty rooms of my apartment. I would find objects inexplicably moved from their usual places, and the sense of being watched grew more pronounced with each passing day. I tried to convince myself that it was just fatigue playing tricks on my mind, but the events escalated. One night, as I lay in bed, I felt a weight pressing down on me, as if someone or something was holding me down. I tried to move, to scream, but my body refused to respond. It was sleep paralysis, I thought, a common phenomenon, but the presence in the room was unmistakable, a malevolent force that filled me with terror. In the following weeks, I grew increasingly sleep-deprived, haunted by nightmares and the relentless torment of the entity that seemed to have invaded my home. I confided in a friend who suggested I seek the help of a paranormal investigator named Dr. Hartman. Dr. Hartman arrived at my apartment, armed with a variety of equipment designed to detect and communicate with spirits. He moved from room to room, his devices registering fluctuations in temperature and electromagnetic fields. But the presence remained elusive, lurking just beyond the reach of our understanding. As the investigation continued, Dr. Hartman revealed his findings to me. He believed that the entity was attached to me, that it had followed me home from one of my shifts as a paramedic. It was drawn to the trauma and chaos that surrounded my work, and it had become fixated on me. But the question remained, why had it chosen me? Why had it latched onto my life, invading my home and tormenting my every waking moment? Dr. Hartman explained that the entity was feeding off my fear, growing stronger with each passing day. It craved the intensity of the emotions I experienced during my shifts, and it had become addicted to the rush of energy I provided. The whispers, the moving objects, the sleep paralysis had all been distractions, a means of keeping me in a constant state of fear and vulnerability. The entity had been siphoning off my energy, growing more powerful with each passing day. Dr. Hartman devised a plan to confront the entity and sever its connection to me. With a sense of determination, we gathered in my apartment, armed with incense, candles, and words of banishment. Dr. Hartman chanted incantations, urging the entity to release its hold on me and depart from my life. As the ritual unfolded, I felt a surge of fear and resistance from the entity. It fought back, its presence growing more intense, but Dr. Hartman's resolve never wavered. With a final, powerful incantation, he banished the entity from my home, and I felt a sudden rush of relief as the oppressive weight lifted from my shoulders. In the days that followed, my apartment felt lighter, as if a dark cloud had finally dissipated. I was able to sleep peacefully, free from the torment of the entity that had plagued me for so long. But the experience had left its mark, a reminder that there are forces in the world beyond our comprehension. The entity had chosen me because of my line of work, but it had also chosen to leave. its reasons known only to the shadows. As I returned to my job as a paramedic, I couldn't help but wonder if there were other entities out there drawn to the chaos and trauma of the world. And I knew that as long as I continued to save lives, I would remain a beacon in the darkness, a target for those that thrived on fear and suffering. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed.